Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. It is Reed Mihalko, and welcome back to Sex Geek School for Gifted Sex Geeks. And today, I want to show you a couple of fun things that you can do to empower yourself with your WordPress website. And just really quickly, I'm going to recommend for most people that you do your websites in WordPress unless there's a very particular reason why you need it to be in Drupal or some other format, or if you're using some sort of platform for sales or something like that. But for your basic, you as a sexeducator.com website, the informational website where most people go to get information, I really recommend that people use WordPress. It's not going to go away anytime soon. It's super reliable. You're going to have to get your own hosting. You don't want to host your website on a WordPress site, on the WordPress site. So you want your own website to be hosted someplace. Like I use DreamHost. You can use whomever you want. DreamHost has been treating me pretty well. Everybody has, hosts that they like, that they enjoy. I use DreamHost. It's fairly affordable. They can handle a lot of bandwidth. So if I become super famous one day in the media and get a lot of hits on my website, it's not going to go down, hopefully. And there's no guarantees. Like I've had my website go down, and it was a dream hosting situation, but that happens with all kinds of hosts. And so hopefully you're using somebody who's reputable. And what you're going to do is you're going to use WordPress on their hosting system. So you're not going to be running your WordPress site on WordPress where they're hosting it. It's just don't do that, because I've actually had lunch with Matt Mullenweg, who's the founder of WordPress, and he's an awesome dude, but you want your website on being hosted by somebody that you're paying so that you control all the content. And Rick Wilkes has a really good talk about that that he did at Sex Geek Summer Camp in 2014, which you can find if you take a look around. That talk is probably on SG3. If it's not, email me. We definitely have it in the archives, but it's the kind of talk that you can probably find in this program. So back to what we're doing today. So here's my WordPress site. These things here that you're seeing are what are called widgets, and I'm going to show you how to geek out with widgets. And basically what a widget does is it adds functionality to your site in a way that you kind of add it, and it already has code and things that it does already programmed in, so you're not having to program it in from scratch. And these buttons right here that you see, and eventually I'm going to be redesigning my site. So if you go to my actual site, it might not look like this in the future, but the tutorial why I'm showing you this is just as important. So these buttons here are widgets, and I'll show you in a minute. And these are functionalities. I can change these out depending on what I want to be promoting at the time. So I just loaded this up today. So people can go click on this button on the home page and immediately go to my shopping cart and leave a deposit. And look how many deposits we have there, which is really just because I was testing out the buttons. So it's very easy for me to send people to, hey, go to readaboutsex.com and click on the button on the home page. The Conscious Sexuality and Relationship Conference is over now. That happened in May, and so I need to swap that button out, and I can replace it with something else. So the widgets, if I go into my dashboard, I'm already logged in, so this is up on the top. But if I I already have that window open. If I click on my dashboard, I've got all different things here that I can do and use. And if I click on Appearance and click on Widgets, it will bring me to the widget page, which we're already on, and we're about to jump back to. And so what you're looking at in front of you right now is you've got available widgets, which are all these different things that I can put in different places on my website and have them show up. So the sidebars and the footers, these are all things that I can create and change based on how I have my site designed. So you would have somebody like Rick Wilkes go in and create and set up these different sidebars, and then you can go in and personalize them how you need to. And there's more down here on the bottom of the page, which you may want to poke around on if you're super geeky about HTML. But somebody like Rick or somebody that you hire could easily set this up. This is not a big deal, but it doesn't have to be something that you know how to do. You don't need to know how to set up the sidebars, but I do want you to be able to go in and be able to customize them. So if we go to this, let's see, Dating Your Species Workshop video and transcript. So this is a sidebar right here. What you see on the side has sidebar. I can add these things in so that no matter what post you go to, this stuff is always appearing. All right? And this can be really useful for lots of different purposes. I've got my newsletter sign up. That's, I'm going to be updating that soon again. Look, we've got the old button for Sex Geek Summer Camp 2014, and that's just passed. So I need to go and change that out or update it. So I'm going to go back to the widgets, and I'm going to go into the sidebar, and I'm going to poke around and find which one's which. So get your official t-shirt today. That's not it. Earning your black belt in relationships, that's not it. And I'm looking right now, I'm looking at the code here to see if I can tell what it is. So this one's Sex Geek Summer Camp, and registering for camp. And let's see, I've got the uploads, Sex Geek Summer Camp, RAS for me is read about sex, add button. So I want to just double check. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to open up a new window. I'm just going to copy and paste. And just make sure that's the right button. Okay, so that is the button on the side. So I want to go and change that. So one of the things I can need to do is just make sure I know what size this button is. Sometimes in your widgets, they'll tell you what the size is. Aha! 280 by 283. See right there? So I know right now that that size fits great in there. So if I want to find another, if I want to create a new button, I'm going to create it. If I create it that size, or have my graphic designer create that size, I know that it'll fit. Other buttons might fit fine, but sometimes things will get skewed and be weird. But basically, I'm looking to create a button that's about that size. So I'll need to do that, or have somebody do it for me. But I could also just drop in HTML for text, so that I don't necessarily need the button, the image, because right here I've got click here and learn more about Sex Geek Summer Camp. So that is text that is linked. So if I click it, it will bring me to wherever that link's going to. So what I could do right now is I'm going to take the link that I just did in another video. So here's some links I have just kind of set aside on one of my post-it notes. So I'm going to grab the affiliate link that I have for the deposit for camp, and I'm going to drop it in. So that right there is the registration link for camp, and I'm going to replace it with my affiliate link. And I'm going to leave the same image right now. Okay? And then I'll change the image when I have a new image. But what I'm going to do here is that's the link again for the text. Okay? Because the href, however an actual coder would pronounce that, I don't know, means that it's linking because of the end A. It's taking this text and linking it to this link. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out that where that text is linking to, and I'm going to direct it to my shopping cart button. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the text here. Click here to leave your deposit. Click here to secure claim. I'm going to put claim. Claim your spot at Sex Geek Summer Camp 215. Woohoo! And then I'm going to hit save. Now I haven't changed the image yet because I don't have an image to swap it out with yet. Although maybe I do. But let me just show you this first. So now if I refresh, and remember this is a post about a video and a transcript for dating your species. Now, did that not show up? Maybe that's the wrong side widget. Okay, so it would appear that I'm changing the widget for something else, which is where widgets can be a little bit tricky, and why you probably want somebody to label them a little bit better. Oh, you know what? I bet you I know what this is. This is for this one down here, isn't it? Aha! See, I found it. So the text is a little bit off, but click here to claim your spot at Sex Geek Summer Camp 215. And if we click on that, it directs us to the deposits, and every time we click it, it'll just add another deposit because that's the way the shopping cart works. So we changed the one down there, so now we need to change the one up top, which is stuck in another widget thing around here. We just need to poke around. Might be the new sidebar. And I'll be able to find that in a minute. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the image here first, and then what I'll do is I'll just copy the whole thing because we know that it's working, and drop it into wherever the next widget is. It might be sidebar 2. I basically need to poke around and find it. So again, when you drop in your sidebars and label them so it's just easier for you to find, which means it's easier for your virtual assistant or your programmer to find as well. Okay, so I know the 6 sidebar situation is for when I am talking about the home page, and that is these 6 buttons right here. All right? So there you have it. And now, let's just go change this image real quick and see what we've got. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to, scroll up, go to Media, open up a new window by, for me, clicking Control and hitting my mouse button, which on Mac gives me a drop-down menu. So I'll open up the Media window in new window. And I'm going to see what buttons I have, what images I have. I don't have any new ones for camp. I have this one right here. So why don't we use this one? It might not be the right size, but we'll find out. Click on it. See what size it is. Oh, it's huge. Look at that. It's super huge, which isn't actually good because it means that it'll take a long time for it to load. And this is actually the old Sex Geek Summer Camp loader, so I totally don't want to use that. So let me hit back. The reason super big images are not good to use is they're slow to load. Even if you're telling the computer to use a smaller to resize it, it eats up a lot of stuff. So what I'm going to do right now is I know this image is tinier than what I want. It's 160 by 160, but it'll be good for the purposes of this tutorial and probably work fine until I get the one that I want, which is 280 by 283. So I know it's 160 by 160. So I'm going to tell it to make it 160 by 160, rather than have it take a small image and try to make it bigger, which will just make it look stupid. And then I go in between the quotes to the image, and then I'm going to replace it. Boop. Copied and pasted it from my widget window. So to find the URL, so I select all and then copy. And jumping over into my widget page, IMG is basically saying image. So it's telling the HTML's telling people what's going on. And then what I'm going to do is drop in the actual URL, which tells it where to go to grab the image. I've already told it the size I want it to be. And now I'm going to hit save. And now the moment of truth. That's the old image. Now we want to jump to a post. It's a good post. Let's do the making breakups and relationships easier in 3 simple steps. And now the widget had been saved. Remember that was the widget for down low, so just scroll down and see how it looks. Ooh, there you go. So claim your 2015 camper spot now. So it's a much smaller image. And this text here is not quite exactly the right size. It spills out a little bit, which doesn't look great, but it'll do for now until I can tweak it a little bit. So this is how you would change a widget and then be able to swap out and customize things in your sidebars. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and copy all of this. Might fidget around with it and see if I can get the text to behave better here and not bleed out over the border. And then I'm going to make a bigger button, load it into my media by adding new. Like I'll make a button this size, the 280, and then I'll load it in, grab that, and drop it into the widgets link where I need it. I'll tell it what size I need it to be, so it's the right size, and then that should be pretty good. And then I'll just copy that whole thing, find out where my other widget is hiding out, and drop it in, and then hit save, and then my sidebars on all of my posts on my site will have the new logo and the new links. And that way, whenever anyone's visiting something on my website, they'll be exposed to the new message I want them to see with that widget. So that's a little tutorial on how you can customize certain widgets. There's all kinds of other widgets, like this is a calendaring widget right here that's just posting things. This is a category widget, which we can drop into different places. There's all kinds of interesting widgets that you can find and add. Don't go super crazy. There are a lot of websites that have just too much going on the side, and we could argue that I do as well. So you want to be paring your widgets down to really what you want your visitors seeing and what you want them clicking. All right? I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at support@readaboutsex.com. And thank you so much for watching these videos. You're doing a great job. I hope this stuff is slowly making things less intimidating for you, so that you're feeling more comfortable and more excited about your website and being able to control it more, so that you're empowered and you can change things on the fly or fix things when they break if you notice something's weird. Because now I'm noticing, oh, that doesn't look good. I know how to go back into the widgets and tweak it, or more importantly, I get to tell my friend, my programmer, or the person I'm hiring on Elance, hey, I need this fixed. So go look over here in my widgets, and it's in the sidebar number 2, and can you just go in there with your HTML genius and make that look decent. So there you go. I hope this was useful. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.